hinder anything to ensure that nothing is left unattended to. And we'll start with the first guest. We're going to have two guests this very morning via the phone lines. And we'll be speaking with one of them first. And after that, we'll go back and then take on the second guest. And then the program will just go that way. And also have in the studio, or rather on the phone line with me this very morning, I have Sunday Iwanugo, the spokesperson of ADC campaign organization. I don't know if you can hear me, Sunday Iwanugo. Good morning to you. You're welcome.
Good morning, Tony.
It's good to have you. You actually meant to be here physically, but for one reason or the other, you couldn't make it. Let's begin by asking this question. Nigeria had a by-election across different states. We are told about 12 states participated in that by-election. We saw one that happened in Kano, and we saw one that happened in Kaduna. We also saw one that happened in other places of the Federation, in Edo State, and also in Enugu State, in Anambra State, in many places. But interestingly, ADC did not win in any of these elections that happened across different states in the country, especially here in Anambra. Let's get your take about what you feel or your general assessment about the election, Sonny Iwanugo, the spokesperson of ADC campaign here in Anambra State. Let's take it from you. What's the general assessment?
Well, I think it is a solid reflection of the current political terrain in Nigeria. It tells the story of how deep our politics have sunk and how badly our political environment is mismanaged. Well, people who seem to be victorious, who are gloating over their victories, should know that there is something called tomorrow. Tomorrow will come. And as they continue to take Nigeria and its politics further into the morass of decadence and paralysis, they are mortgaging the future of the country, the future of their generations, and the future of their children's children. That is what I can say. Because if you watch that election, you find out that vote buying has become a big phenomenon, a big factor in Nigerian politics. And a situation where you store money, public funds, across the board, you store public funds with the aim of using it to induce voters, to induce people to vote for you. That is the highest form of political evil, if I may say so. That is the highest form of it. Where you deliberately impoverish the people and store the money only for you to use it on election day to lure them to buy votes. That can never be excused in any political environment.
Okay.
That is my response.
All right, that's your response.
That's exactly what happened last Saturday.
All right.
Nobody should be gloomy about it.
Okay.
Nobody. ADC has made it clear. And ADC will not buy votes of anybody. ADC will convince people to vote for them. ADC will never use hunger as a weapon for political the attainment of their goals.
All right, Sonny Iwanugo. There was a report by some journalists that said that also that ADC was also guilty of what you are just trying to condemn, that they were part of vote buying. Probably they were bidded in the process. Many of them fielded their reports from different polling units. We were talking about those who went around in different places in Anambra State, saying that it was more like a bazaar, auction sale, where parties were all guilty of things, that They even showed evidence. They had some kind of video clips where they interviewed some people and they were saying that they were offered this by this party, they were offered that by that party, but decided to go for this party for some reasons. So, in view of this, what's your own take about these very reports?
I can tell you authoritatively that ADC did not offer anybody even one kobo to buy votes.
Okay. So those that we are doing that, we are doing it on their own, not for ADC.
What ADC as a political party has a philosophy that is based on moral suasion and integrity.
Okay.
ADC can never buy anybody's votes.
All right. And I know that many people who are listening to us, some of them participated in that election. By the time we open the phone lines, they will also tell you their own experience at that polling unit or different polling units. Maybe if you have what to tell them, you may tell them. Now, let's come back to what happened in the last election. Would you say that ADC is threatened by this development where they couldn't win a single seat, not just in Anambra State, across 12 states? So, would you say, because if you look at statements credited to Bayo Nonuga and also some people, they have said that this coalition seems to become an end to something, that for the fact that they couldn't win even a state House of Assembly election in any of the states, PDP even won, NNPP won, ABGA won, APC won, but ADC could not win. So what does this portend? What does it signify?
When you say win, I think you should put it in parentheses.
Okay.
Yes, win is by, you put it in quotes.
Okay.
Because they did not actually win. They bought the conscience of the people. They bought the hunger of the people for just a day or two. That they gave them 20,000 naira. It will not take them beyond 2 days in the current Nigerian situation. So when you say they won, they simply used the hunger of the people, the ignorance of the people as a weapon. They exploited the ignorance of the people to buy votes. And in all the states here we are talking about, you find out that 99.9% of them was by the government in power. And that is the sad story. That's the sad aspect of the story. It's the government in power. In Anambra State, for instance, Anambra State is one of the states that is not paying minimum wage at the moment as I'm talking to you. So where is the money going? You store the money in order to use it to buy market women on election day, in order to buy hungry people on election day, and you think that is the way to go? I think absolutely is horrible. Okay. It is something that everybody should lament about. It is something everybody should bemoan in this country, and it's something that we should detest and never celebrate and never gloat about.
Okay, going further, because we have other elections coming, do you think that what happened last Saturday may have dampened the morale of ADC and the faithful, or do you think that they are going to stand for upcoming elections, or this will make them, for the fact that what happened last Saturday didn't go according to plans or what they felt should have been in place, things that happened, would that demoralize their spirit going further?
No, there's no question of being demoralized, because ADC is being propelled by the impetus of actually changing the situation in the country. So it is not. Instead, it is a morale booster. It will continue to boost the morale of ADC to now go into the field to educate the people and to let them know that as long as they take that amount, they will be the loser in the end. Because after 2 days, they go hungry again. What do they do? What will be the outcome of taking 20,000 naira for a day or two, and then thereafter for the next 4 years you are plunged into the abyss of despair, into the abyss of hunger? That cannot. So this will be a platform for voter education, for further voter education, for us to go into the field and now mount a massive campaign of awareness to educate the people of the implication, about the implication of what they are doing.
Okay.
They are hurting themselves. They are hurting their children. And if this becomes the template for winning elections, then the poor man who continuously grow in the list every minute in Nigeria will become will continue to suffer.
All right. And then I also want to ask you, because there were these reports, according to one of the parties that you contested election with, they say that ADC has no structure, especially in Anambra State. That they lack structure. They don't even have polling agents that cover the entire 118 wards in Anambra South. And then they did not even have polling agents that cover almost about 1,930 something polling units. And they said that the ADC candidate for Anambra South senatorial election, it was alleged that he was not even popular, that many people never even knew him, that his posters came out just like 2 weeks before the campaigns, that he was barely known, that he was, in fact, before the election, that he's not a known political entity. He's not that popular. And these are some of the things that ADC will count as one of the reasons why they lost the election: lack of structure, lack of viability, the candidate of the South being unpopular, and other things they pointed out that they should also look into as the reasons they lost the election, not necessarily based on what they are saying. Do you buy that argument?
Never. Well, Tony, let me give you a little bit background about myself.
Okay.
I was a political editor for 8 years in this country. A politics editor for 8 years. That has given me the leeway to travel across the country and monitor elections. Not only in Nigeria, but outside this country. I monitored the election. I monitored the election in Ghana. I monitored the election in India. I monitored the election that brought about Barack Obama in the U.S. So all these things we are talking about structure. The structure is in the people. The structure is not in vote buying. The structure is not in public. The structure is not using security agents and other non-state actors to win elections. The structure is in the people. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
In 2008, when I went to Ghana to cover the Ghanaian presidential election, the candidates of the ruling party won that election at the first ballot, but did not get the required number of votes to cross the threshold to be pronounced the winner of the to be sworn in as the winner of the election. He required just about 1,000 votes to cross the threshold. But in spite of the fact that he was the candidate of the ruling party, he was not given. Nobody gave him that 1,000 votes that was required for him to be president. So, in the evening of that, everybody was working with bated breath at the Ghana Institute of Electoral Institute. We are there. All journalists from all over the world, we are there. Working and watching what will happen. The electoral umpire, Afari Jian, that is his name, did not announce him as the winner. And at the end of the day, that evening, I found my way to the house of that presidential candidate. I found my way to his house, got the way of meeting him too. That was the last president of Ghana, the Akufo-Addo, the last president of Ghana. I found a way of meeting him, and I spoke to him that evening. And you know what he told me when I asked him how sure he was about the runoff election? He told me that Ghanaians have become weary of voting one political party after voting them for 2 times. So they have become weary of voting. His fear was that based on that, there will be a coalition of other political parties to vote him out. And that was the presidential candidate of the ruling party that had all the powers in Ghana to make him the president. But they didn't give him that. And that was exactly, I was still in Ghana when that happened. The runoff election was conducted and he lost. He lost that election to an opposition party. That is about structure. Now in India, I was in India when the electoral umpire was showing us the materials, sensitive materials for conduct of election the next day. He showed us where it was stored on the boot of his car. And nobody was guarding it. So can you imagine that in Nigeria, on election day, 2-3 hours, the election materials have not moved from one local government to the other. The election will now have to be conducted at night. Is that structure? Is that part of the structure you are talking about? The structure is in the people, the electorate, the voters, not in the how much you have been able to amass money.
So you mean the structure is not about that? Most voters are not members of political party. So people are looking at those who are members of your party having a structure, having a kind of network through which they try to bring those who are not aligned. But when you allow those work for okay.
Did you not see it in 2023 presidential election? Did you not see the futility? But then
there are people that came out and said that lack of structure costs Labour Party from winning the 2023 general election.
It was not lack of structure.
Okay, let me explain.
Dishonesty of the system.
Of course, because knowing fully well that the system is not honest, knowing fully well that the system itself is totally imbalanced, that's the more reason, according to those who argue, that you have to really be on the guard to ensure you protect what you have. Like somebody votes according to some reports. Like what happened in Rivers State, what happened in Benue State, what happened in other states. There are some votes were voided and some of these votes were not protected. So knowing fully well that you need to protect your vote through your structure, because according to people, they will tell you that structure protects votes and ensure that votes counts. So don't you think you will do what other political parties do by ensuring that you have that structure that will protect whatever votes people give to you?
No, that is a fallacy.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, it is a fallacy. As I told you, I have monitored elections in this country for years. For years, I have monitored the elections. If the powers that be want to rig the election, there is nothing you are talking about structure. If the powers that be want to, the last election in those states, did you see what happened? The governor, who was the structure of that state, went to INEC office when it was clear that they were cooking the results in INEC office in the state. He went there, but he was chased out by police. Who knew that when they even slapped him, they pushed him out and chased him out of that place? Who was stronger than him? So, but the powers that be, the others have come, that he should never be allowed there, while other people were there. They chased him out from there. Was he able to do anything? So when you have the state institutions that are very weak and not ready to be independent, how do you, what structure are you talking about? So even if the Labour Party had gathered all their votes, the highest you could do was to be at the scene of the election, and you come to the collation center and you are talking and they continue doing what they are doing. What will you do? They've asked you to go to court, and you go to court. The court is there to rubber stamp whatever they did. So what other structure are you talking about?
All right, having
they were buying votes on Saturday. The police was there, or the police personnel were there. The elected officials were there, watching them buying those votes.
All right.
That is the structure that you are talking about.
All right.
Those are the institutions they are talking about and money that conduct elections. So
Okay.
who is supposed to be the person? And if you make any noise there as an opposition, but they'll say, strip you away and take you away and lock you up.
All right. And I also want to, because you've told us that in Anambra State last Saturday, according to you, that ADC did not share money. That's what you said. And I said I'm going to leave that to our listeners who will call in and tell us if that is true or not, because you've given your own account. There's something I want to bring to your attention before we bring in issues in Anambra State. I was listening to Senator Dati Baba Ahmed, the 2023 vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, who was running mate to P2B. He dismissed last night the coalition-backed African Democratic Congress, ADC, as a grand deception. According to him, alleging that many of those who ruined Nigeria under the President Muhammad Buhari administration are now seeking refuge in the party ahead of the 2027 election. And then if you look at those, many may think may have ruined the administration. It could be likes of the CPC bloc in ADC, likes of Abubakar Malami and those, former Attorney General who is now a member of ADC. But for somebody like Dati Baba Ahmed making this statement, the question is, because if ADC is trying to build, don't you think that his statement is also trying to unbuild what APC is trying to build? That is one question. And here in Anambra State, how would you rate your acceptability by India Anambra? Would you say that the ADC and even the candidate of ADC, John Chumanwusu, is well accepted? If you are to do acceptability rating, what will be your score? Just take these two questions. I don't know if you get the first one and possibly the second one. Go on.
Well, that's Baba Ahmed is an individual, and that is the beauty of democracy. He will have his views, but they cannot have the views of all Nigerians. Nigerians have come to see ADC as the only credible alternative to what is happening today, both at the national and the state levels. That is a fact that cannot be contradicted in any way. So whatever happens thereafter is anybody's guess. It's out there in the street. Now, coming to Anambra about the acceptability of Chief John Wusu, Mr. John C. Wusu as the candidate of the ADC. Well, that is exactly what we are doing, to send John Wusu to Anambra people as the credible alternative to the disgrace that Anambra has become under the current administration in the last 4 years, to the continued disgraceful outing and to the continued snaring on the face, the bespattering of the state with paintbrush of shame that we have seen. He is the alternative to that. I'm sure you in the last 2 or 3 days you are a witness to what happened to the NYC female NYC member that was stripped. I'm sure you coming from Anambra State, you will cover your face in shame when you hear that happening, and with the endorsement of your governor. So these are the things that will be out there in the face of Anambra people, and we will ask them questions whether it is acceptable to them. If it is not acceptable to them, then what do they do? It is up to them to make the change, the required change that is needed. And that is what the campaign is all about. That is what we are going out there to let them know, that there is a credible alternative, there is a credible change that is coming. That instead of what we are seeing as the template of the present administration, a new template is coming. Here there will be a digital spreadsheet in the whole of Anambra on the issue of security, security is no longer a function of using alcohol to break people's legs and break people's spines. When you have a digital spreadsheet, if somebody stole a vehicle at Ochanja Market, before you get to Opiweka, you are tracked by a device from the control and command center, and you'll be confronted. If you kidnap anybody at a Kuroda, before you get to Oga, you are confronted by security operatives that we get you. If that happens in 2 or 3 locations in Anambra State, the issue of kidnapping, the issue of massive killing, the issue of banditry will be eradicated. That is what we are going to do.
Okay.
Scientific method of doing things, electronic method of doing things. That is the system all over the world now.
Okay.
You cannot continue with the crude method of doing things.
Okay. All right, because we have to allow callers to come in. Before you go, one would also want to know what's the name of the device that once a kidnapping activity happens at Ochanja, before it gets to Opiweka, the person is tracked and demobilized. Do you have any name in mind? Any name of the device that could do that?
That is called smart technology.
You know, that's a generic name. Do you have any device? You know, you said it is something used in some other places in the world. Do you have a name? We know that it's a smart technology, that's as you said, but do you have any brand name?
I'm sure,
all right, but let's leave that.
I'm sure you are aware of camera.
All right, okay, all right.
Camera.
Okay. Now, I will want to open the phone line so that you entertain questions from the listeners. I don't know if you are ready.
Yeah.
You are ready, right? All right, let's open the phone lines.
I'm ready, yes.
Okay, let's open the phone line so that we are going to entertain a few questions from the listeners. So you respond to them 0803 221 6973 or 0803 827 6694. This is Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM. We have Sunday Ibanugo on the other end on the phone line, and then he is the spokesperson of the African Democratic Congress in Anambra State, the campaign council here in Anambra State. So let's take your questions. He has said quite a lot of things. I wouldn't want to take much time asking him a lot of questions, but then let's take your questions as well, and he will respond, and he's listening. All right, he has said that in the last Saturday election that ADC did not share money. That's what he said, and he's challenging anybody to say otherwise, that he is sure of what he said. And then he quite talked about the ADC not winning any election in Nigeria, saying that the institution or institutional failure was the reason, not because ADC maybe is not on ground. Let's take your questions and then comments. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Yeah, good morning.
You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Chibes are calling from Newi.
Chibes are calling from Newi. All right, go on.
Yes. Yes. Well, I want to agree to the guest on one point about that Ahmed. That Ahmed, I don't know whether he's working with the principal or working under way, because last time the principal is supporting the other lady or the chairman of the senator.
Nenad Usman, just go on.
Yes. Then he went to have a meeting with the other Ujino Sabre, sitting the table that place. So now he was talking about this lady that they are going to decide. What plan is he making to make sure that the Labour Party is have presence in all the wards and all the local governments in the country? This is the party that can have those presence on those places. One of the things that makes them to lose that election is that most of their votes was reaching to other people. They don't have evidence on the polling booth. So now, and he knows that if they have alliance with the other people in ADC, they will not pick him again as vice presidential candidate, because the other group will bring the vice presidential candidate as they are bringing presidential candidate. I think I look at him as a player now. So P2B, we should be very careful about it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. I don't know, Sunday, you have to be taking note of some of these submissions so that by the time.
Unfortunately, I could not hear a bit of what.
All right, let me tell you what he said. He was actually talking about Dati Baba Ahmed, saying he disagreed with him totally about his statement last night, and he questioned where he belongs, if he actually belongs to ADC or belongs to the Labour Party, and if he truly, whether he's working with P2B or not. I think he was talking about that Baba Ahmed. And then he also said that the lack of presence of ADC in some places caused them that election, the last general election. But let's just take note of this. You reply some of them one after the other. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome.
My name is Sunday from Udala.
Sunday calling from Ekulobe. You're welcome. You have to be audible.
Only one I want to say is that year again said that ADC did not share money. They did not take him to truth. We're on the field. Let us be sincere to ourselves. Yes, to exercise people, not to buy votes. It's very important. For every party that comes to that poll unit, they come with money. All of them. Not all of them come with money. So please, when we are telling, let us be truthful. Now, before we go to the when you said that ADC did not share money, they did not come with money, no. All of us are in this field, and we see what happened there. Even in a club here, I move around, I see what happened. I saw everything. It's only that Apoga have an advantage of the state. As Apoga state, many people have made up their mind to vote to some party. But every agent there, come there with money, I will give you 3,000. Vote, you show me. ADC are doing it, Apoga are doing it, FBC are doing it, YPP. Comment it on please go there, they will see it. They will offer you whatever they want to offer you. Thank you.
All right, we come back to that because Sunday Banago will still react to that. I don't know if you got what he said before we go to the next call.
No, I didn't get what he said.
He didn't get what he said. He was saying that ADC shared money at Ekulobia Axix, that he went around, that he visited polling units, that he was talking about sincerity, that if ADC wants to really show Nigerians that they're sincere, they have to start speaking the truth, that he was on ground at different polling units, that all the parties came with money, the agents came with money. That's exactly what he said. He will come back to that, and we are just take note of that. We have just got two questions. Then when we take the third one, we come back to you. First has to do with Dati Baba Ahmed for the first caller. The second caller was saying that ADC shared money at that election day. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
I am Badmos. I'm calling from Unewi.
Badmos, you're welcome. Calling from Unewi. Please go.
APC did not share money. The political parties that shared money were YPP, APC, and APGA. ADC did not share money. They are not even on ground. Most polling units, we did not even see their agents there. So they should go and do their homework. So the question I want to ask them, your guest is this. Based on the reality on ground, how can they win this election? Because your guest said that if politicians in power want to rig election, that they will rig election. Apart from sharing money in the polling unit, they can still rig it at the upper echelon. That is at the either INEC headquarters or local government or state capital or something like that. So how can they, as a political party, ADC, galvanize themselves and make sure that they win something in the upcoming election, so that what happened last Saturday will not happen? Then, Tony, I want to ask you,
Okay.
can you tell me where Labour Party win any election in this last Saturday's election? Thank you.
All right. I don't know if my guest did he.
Please fill me in on what he said, please.
All right. You did not hear again. All right.
Yeah, no.
Okay, he was saying that your party did not share money because you were not even seen, that you were not on ground. That many of your polling units had no agents. So he went further to say that when you made the statement that there was this, if an election was to be rigged, mostly it's being rigged at the top echelon, maybe institutional rigging. If the party, maybe the ruling party wants to take everything about from that election, they will go in a way to do it. So he was asking, you that know these things, going into this election, what will you do to ensure that that does not happen? I don't know if you get that.
Yeah, I got you now.
All right, let's take one more and then we come back to. Okay. All right, the advantage of being here present is you hear these things from the horse's mouth without any interpretation. But I'm wondering why you are not even getting some of the things the callers are saying. But let's go back to the phone lines. Let's take another call and we'll come back to Sunday Igbanugo to react to these statements. We have got somebody who come from Ikulobia ADC that they shared money, and then Badmore saying they did not, that they were not even seen. But then let's go back to the phone lines. But these are other issues. Good morning, you're welcome.
Good morning, my speaker, Olisa Mbeki.
You're welcome.
This is the voice of Honorable Ignatius Okoye from our ancient kingdom.
Please go on a quick one because of time.
The truth is here is this. We cannot judge the strength of ADC by this by-election now. We cannot judge it by this now because those people that won the election are the people on the ground before the election. When we judge the strength of ADC is in presidential race. And they did well, they will perform fine. If they don't have misfortune on the way, that's the truth here.
All right.
Come to the share of money. Many parties, APC, APOGA, PDP, they share money. APC share. So that they start doing competition. But the whole truth is this, that the people have made up their mind to vote APOGA. That's the whole truth. Thank you, my speaker.
All right, I don't know if Sunday Manogo, did you hear the last statement before we come back to you?
No,
He was actually saying that the ADC cannot be judged by the last outing. That most parties that won the election, they were those parties that were formerly on ground before now. That being that the party is coming new, that you cannot judge them with the last outing. That is one. And then he went further to say that the party ADC shared money, just as other political parties, that they all shared money. In fact, they were doing competitions. And the last thing he said was the fact that that people made up their mind to vote ABGA. That was exactly what happened, based on the fact that all of them shared money and they made up their mind to vote ABGA. Let's come back to you now. We've taken some calls and look at their various statements. What's their response to some of these thoughts and these issues by the callers they raised?
Well, at the beginning, I told you when you asked that question about the structure, and I told you that the structure is in the people. That in any organized system, in any election that is credible, that any electoral system that is credible, you do not even need people, you do not even need the agents to be at the polling station to monitor what people are doing. Because people simply go and vote and go home. In other clients, people can even stay in their bedrooms and vote, and that's the end of it. So we should be more interested in credible electoral system rather than in the structure that we are talking about. You don't need to monitor. This thing is about conscience. It's about what you believe. So you do not need this humongous structure of people gathering at a police station and people, each person looking behind his shoulders to know what another person is doing. So you don't. That my response is that it's in a credible system which the ADC is interested about in bringing, both in Anambra and at the national level. It's a system where you do not need the type of moribund or the type of primordial structure that existed in the 1960s, where they were burning people's houses and killing people in order for election. It's a place where you quietly go, vote, and go away. As I told you in Ghana, people showed you that if a politician is, that's what somebody told me, that if a politician is moving in the street and splash you with water, all you need to show him is your thumb. That, okay, since you have done this, come on the election day. And he will reverse back with his car and apologize to you. That is the power of the good people, the power of votes, not the power of money, not the power of thuggery, not the powers of government influence. So the political polling booths ought not to be manned by the so-called structure you are talking about. For the ADC sharing money, I insist that ADC did not share money because it is completely against the philosophy of the party and those propelling it. Then the second one, okay, he talks about sharing money in the club. I have addressed that there was no. In fact, some people were calling me all the way from Aguata and Ndike Leon. Somebody, I got a call from Ndike Leon. I got a call from Aguata. I got a call from many places in that area, telling me, where are your people? That people are sharing money here. What are you people doing? There's nobody from the agency taking care of our people in terms of money. And the only word, that is not our philosophy. If you cannot vote your conscience, then vote for whoever has given you money. That is as far as that goes.
Okay.
I've told you that we don't need agents, and that ABC cannot be judged by what happened on Saturday. Yes, I agree to that. It's a new platform. People say have to understand the philosophy of the party before you can fully trust them to buy into it. So I agree that we need to rev up the system. We need to rev up the campaign, and that is exactly what we are going to do in the coming days and months.
Okay. All right. And you talked about the issue of institutions, saying that elections should be in such a way that you don't need structure to win them. People should just go there, yes, cast their votes, and then leave. And the institution will take care of all those things. Now, I want to ask, because we have situations where the Electoral Act, our electoral laws, have not been able to agenda some of these things you raised. What plans would you say that the party ADC is making to bring about electoral reforms? Situations where we don't need police to man our polling units. Situations where technology take care of some of the things human beings could have ordinarily taken. Situations whereby you may have mail-in voting, where people can vote online without being at the polling unit to be offered money. Situations where cameras will surround our polling units. Every polling unit will have a camera, whereby whatever that happened there can be tendered by the time the elections are reviewed. What plans do you think that the party ADC will be making before the National Assembly to bring about this reform? Because these reforms will come in form of amendment of our electoral laws to bring about some of these things.
Yeah, so I must commend you. You have really struck at the heart of the issue. If you are the true son of your father, Tony, I must commend you for what you have just said. That is exactly the advocacy we are going to embark on at the national level. In the next few, you just watch out and see what will happen. The ADC will mobilize all Nigerians to talk to their representatives at the national level to bring about these laws, because that is the only saving grace we are going to have. If you let the electoral process the way it is, we are all in trouble. Not us. We are gone. It is our children and our grandchildren and children that will suffer the consequences, because these people are out to hijack the system, and once they have hijacked the system, it will be very difficult to retrieve it from them, and that is what they are trying to do. So in the next coming months and years, before the 2027 presidential election, we are going to get that level, and we are sure that with the right pressure mounted on these people, it won't be easy to get through that. But they are going to do it, and we are going to strongly advocate for a change to ensure that the electoral system is redeemed. Without the redemption of the electoral system, there is nothing where this country is gone.
Okay.
This country is gone.
All right, let's see if we can take a few more calls and then we call it a wrap. Let's go back to the phone lines. We have thousands of people who are waiting, and we have so many calls coming in. The consoles are, the call buttons are buzzing. Let's go back to the phone lines again. For those who joined us, remember this is Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM, and I'm still your honorable speaker, Dr. Tony Olisa Mbeki. We have Sunday Manugo on the other end, the spokesperson of ADC Campaign Council here in Anambra State. We are looking at what happened in the last elections last Saturday, and then he has challenged everyone, and he has said that the party did not share money. Let's go back to the phone lines. Remember the lines 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Let's go quickly and just take 1 or 2 or 3 calls, and then we call it a wrap. Good morning. You are welcome. Make it
good morning.
snappy. Good morning. You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm calling from my name is Philip Ellen.
Philip Ellen calling from
Oboko.
Oboko. Quickly, because we don't have time.
There's the truth I have to tell about the vote. So who said that the APC will not share money? It's a pure lie, my good brother. They share money in the secret way. They will call you, go by the side, and give you money and go and vote for them. Nigeria will really scatter, but what I know that God will only protect our life and everything. And that's what I want to do in the governor election and the president election. APC wants to call the whole Nigeria, but God will be our protector of future. That's the truth on the line. They have share money.
Okay, all right. That's your take. Yes, your take. But I want to ask you: were you offered money? Did they offer you money?
Yes, I came there. They said they will give me money.
Okay.
I told them that I don't want to collect any money at all.
Okay. All right. That's all. That's all. You said that they approached you and they wanted to offer you money that you said you wouldn't want to take, and then you said they offered other persons. That's by the way. I don't know. Our guest is still on the other end. I believe he's still listening to what we are saying. Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, my speaker.
Good morning. You're welcome.
This is Honorable Oluchi team, and I'm calling from 33 this morning.
A quick one, please, because of time.
Yes, the guest is right. In the other hand, what happened in the last election to me is no election. It's a case of where the bidder, the highest bidder, gets it all, and we cannot get it right by so doing in this country.
All right, thank you so much. Quickly, good morning. You are welcome. Quickly. Good morning.
Live from Osumoro.
Just make a few statements because we are completely out of time. I want to give him time to wrap up.
Thank you very much. Let me ask our guest. They are on the phone, right there in the studio. Tony has just asked a question which you said he has hit the nail on the head. If you knew it that way, why did you file out to contest in a rotten environment? Was it better to fight the rotten environment before you are filing out, or to file out before filing out and contest with the rotten environment? Let me tell you, God did not need to buy any vote. Soludo has been doing a human job in another state, and the devil we know is better than the angel we do not know. Good morning, everyone in the studio.
All right, thank you. That's your own statement. Let's come back to our guest. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here, Tony, but I didn't get any.
All right. Look at the 3 things they said. 3 persons just called in now, and the first person was of the view that your party shared money. In fact, he said that he was offered money by your party, though he rejected that there was money sharing. He called in from Okpoko. And then the second person who called in was of the same view, and then he queried quite a lot of things. The last person was saying that once you know that without the reforms of Electoral Act, what's the essence of being in the election? When you know that the environment is also corrupt, and saying that the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. Let's have your final take, and then possibly hear a response to some of these statements made by these callers as we wrap up now.
Well, Tony, I still insist that ADC did not share money because it's against our philosophy. What is the need of sharing, of engaging in something that you know that your philosophy is against, or your spirit is against? That the fact that we are entering into the terrain in the first place is to eradicate this evil, this electoral evil in the society. That is our push. That is the focus of the ADC. To change things in our country so that our country will be better for the future. So if we now go there and we start engaging in the same thing we are preaching against, what benefit is that?
So how's the preparation for the November 8th coming up? Just make a statement because we're completely out of time. Yeah, preparation is still ongoing.
November 8th, we are not going to share money, but we are going to win the election.
Oh, you are not going to share money, but you are going to win. All right. Thank you so much, Sunday Iwanugo, the spokesperson of ADC Campaign Council here in Anambra State, for your take this very morning. He joined us from Oka, so he would have been here present, but for one thing or the other, he couldn't make it, so he joined us from Oka. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Sunday Iwanugo. My
pleasure indeed. Thank you very much.
All right. We're going to take a moment. Let's go for break. When we come back, we are going to, at the same time, have another guest who may probably join us from Orca this morning, and we are going to look at other developments, other issues as they evolve. Well, you don't need to go anywhere because we'll be right back after the break.
For Soludo, APGA, Ndanambra Gakwanotio, Unekone Kewalunu, Webuchi, or Machukuna Chichas, Soludo, and Anambra States. Unu Makwana, and you command on or Bofo, and what you're caught in the way, Kaikwado, one I woke Buchuku, Machas Soludo, Una Fugiadi no Nemenambra di Chiche, Sitena Nambra North, South to Center, Neko Boruzonine and Gorgo, Neko Nakuko and Kone Pepe, Nebo Hospital and Gorgo, Una Fugono Komwana is when I'm Nudo, free of charge. Umwakuko, when I Wakuko Nefu, Ianine, and the Hendozo, Kachuku, Machas Soludo, Nemen Anambra State, and the Kusimaka new government house in Kekuruku, Kembe 1991, Yabo 34 years, Nayana Soludo, Aroharikia, Kedumaka new solution fund city, one name Soludo Nonoro, Ndanambra, Oroma, Amango, Piano ni way, Kaikwado, one night you work at Machas Soludo, Anambra Patriots for Soludo.
The Temple Mothers of Living Christ Mission worldwide heartily invite friends, well-wishers, and people of goodwill to the 41st anniversary celebration of their Mother's Day. Date, Sunday, 24th August 2025. Venue, Living Christ Mission Spiritual Headquarters, Nkwere, Imo State. Time, 10 a.m. Chief Speaker and Special Guest of Honor, His Grace, the Most Reverend Professor Daddy Hezekiah, OON, JP, Lord Mayor of Peace, the Anointed Prophet of the Most High God, Founder, Leader, and Archbishop of Living Christ Mission Incorporated, Proprietor and Chancellor, Hezekiah University, Umudi, Imo State. Chief Host, Her Grace, Ambassador Princess Samuel Onyinyomachuku, MON, JP, PhD, the Executive President of Living Christ Mission Incorporated. Quote, I shall not die, but I shall live and recount the deeds of the Lord. Psalm 118, verse 17. Signed, Chief Mrs. Obegerin Bamelo, President, Temple Mothers of Living Christ Mission Incorporated.
Hooray! Football is alive again in Onitsha. One Nibonyegu, one Nimekegu, Egwekere Football Street Championship. My guy, come rep your street. Come show the world that your street has got the best talent in town. Egwekere Football Street Championship Egwekere Football Street Championship is a football tournament to be played among different streets of Onitsha. Winners will take home 1.5 million naira. I repeat, 1.5 million naira. So what are you still waiting for? Call this number
0806 391 5257
for your registration and further inquiries. Registration runs from 1st to 30th of August 2025. Special thanks to our headline sponsors, Winners Global Estate Limited, and our media partners, Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Egwekere Football Street Championship. Ball Obe na Doda.
You're welcome back. Remember, this is Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM. We've just had our first guest, and then we are going to have the second guest. He will be joining us from Orca, but he will be here briefly. And just like we said earlier on, he'll be telling us his own assessment about what happened last Saturday during the by-elections. Joining me this very morning, we have Honorable Pharmacist Obinna Menaka. Remember, he was a 3-time member representing Ayamelum constituency in the Anambra State House of Assembly, the 7th Assembly. That was the last assembly he was in. It's my pleasure to welcome you this morning. Good morning, Honorable. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Tony, Mr. T.
All right.
I'm here.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you via the phone line. He joins us from Orca. Let's have your assessments about what happened last Saturday during the by-election, especially in Anambra State. What's your take, generally speaking?
Okay, Tony, last Saturday was a clear manifestation of the implementation of the Anambra South fraction on the contract between them and the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo. You may recall that on 17th of March 2022, when Mr. Governor was sworn in, he did presented a contract between him and the Anambra, of which, that of Anambra South was very clear. And he made it very clear during the campaign that contract, when I mean contract, I'm talking about the plan of his government, that if he did not implement it, that Anambra State, inhabitants should hold him responsible. And since the assumption of his office, he started implementing the plan he had prepared for the Anambra judiciously. And that, metamorphosed into the massive support, APGA as a party, Mr. Governor's party, demonstrated during the last election. It was massive.
So you are saying it wasn't as a result of vote buying, because there had been these allegations that most political parties shared money. Are you saying that the support was based on what the governor has done, or was based on money offered to the electors at the election?
Well, I'm happy they are not talking about vote buying and not rigging. When I mean rigging in question, rigging is when you have 8 and they add 000, 8,000. But vote buying is when you pay money. And the question is, how many people will you buy? How can you buy up to 80,000 persons to vote for you? This thing is not practicable. It's just the cries of a loser, somebody that lost the election, which is expected. In a context, somebody must lose. And when you lose like this, not gallantly, it's expected that you give, your reason why you lost, for people to justify that you should be there. Honestly speaking, Anambra South, evidenced by the massive campaign, you can predict the outcome of election from the campaign, from what people are saying. But most importantly, the governor made the election easier for the candidates through the work he's doing in Anambra State, through the work he also did in Anambra South. You may recall, or you may agree with me, that in Anambra State, both the North and South and Central, the present governor's footprint, infrastructure development and what have you is evidence. And that, led to the conferment of that, title, Oluwatuegu, by all the senatorial districts. Every place they visited, they'll give it to him, because wherever you go, you see that footprint, which is in line with his, agenda of one party, one state, and the one agenda.
Okay, I also want to find out from you, because of time. There are some people who are saying that being from Ayamelum, that your people are not happy with the government of the day, that your people are angry and quite a lot. I don't know if truly your people are angry with the government. You are from Ayamelum local government, if I'm not. Okay, sorry, you're not from Ayamelum, you are from Anambra East, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yeah.
You're from Anambra East,
yeah.
but you live close. You live close by.
Ayamelum is a sister local government.
Sister local government, so you cannot speak for them. I had thought that probably you are from there. You would have been that privileged to speak for them. But since you're not from there, let's leave that very issue. I would want to have somebody who is truly from there to make a statement on that very issue. But going further, do you think Anambra North, generally where you are from, that the present government has really done massive works in Anambra North?
Of course, just like I said during the beginning of my speech, the contract or the manifesto of Mr. Governor was very clear. Even during campaign, the almighty Obuko visit, Obuko, New Heaven, and he did it. On that very day, he was sworn in. The next visit was Obuko, and Obuko is an Anambra North. And for people who are familiar with Obuko, there's this saying that people who judge us will do well if they know where and how we started. Before now, Oboko was a slum. Oboko was, I don't know how to describe it, the best way to describe, an area that is very backward in terms of development, in terms of a place that is forgotten and what have you. And being a governor that is non-selective in his approach in governance, irrespective of the fact that he's from the south, and the immediate, my own brother, governor that handed over was from the north. But he still thought it wise with that mantra of one state, one agenda. Visited Uboko, of course with his plan, implemented what he said he would do. That today, if you go to Oboko, you wouldn't realize that this is, the place that one used to, know. And Oboko is Anambra North. Not just Anambra North. If you go to Fege, Onitsha North, Onitsha South, which is also in Anambra North, you see massive, aggressive road construction. You may recall that when I was in the house, I chaired the Committee on Finance and Appropriation. And I remember that a good percentage of money was allocated for Ministry of Works, where the governor declared emergency on road construction. And that declaration is what we are seeing, aggressive road construction everywhere. Coming down to Anambra East, in areas like my own area, like Enugu to Mbunado, Agulere of Enugu. You also see construction of hospitals, general hospitals, to areas, community that is far away from the people, communities that you would think were almost neglected or forgotten. He also thought it was a promise fulfilled. He said that he was going to do it, and today the people of Upland can, boast of a hospital and so many other areas and so many other plans for Anambra North. If I begin to mention here, time will not permit you to ask any other question.
All right, you did say something about Oboko. Okay, go on.
In Anambra North, we're receiving, we're feeling the impact of the governor.
Okay.
And, we're happy with him here.
All right, remember Anambra North has 7 local governments. You've talked about Obaro, and then I'm aware that Oboko is part of Obaru, and many people may not even know that that area is part of Anambra North. But then we are talking about Anambra West, the Anam area, Olumbana Sa, that's Anambra West, and we talked about your own side, Anambra East. What about Oyi and then Ayamelum? Because these are other local governments that also make up the local governments, not also forgetting Onitsha North and the Onitsha South. Would you say the same measure, or the same measure has been applied to some other local governments? Are you speaking because of your own local government attracts one or two things, but there are those who are saying that nothing seems to have been done in their own local government under Anambra North?
Well, just like I said, I wouldn't want to go back to the past administration, the past governor, who is also from Anambra North, who, to the best of his ability, also performed, and just like you said, let me come to Anambra West. Anambra West is a place the governor also left the footprints and the sands of our time, where something unprecedented, happened. When we talk about road construction, to the only local government in the history of our country without access to road, to use the headquarters. The governor came in. Of course, prior to that road construction, he had his index analysis and decided that such people or such local government, a local government headquarters should be accessible, through road. And today, the history, the people of Anambra West are celebrating and rejoicing that you can now drive through their local government, through road construction, massive road construction, a good kilometer of road. Of course, we are aware of the governor's historic visit to Olubanasa, a place that felt almost forgotten. Why did he visit there? First thing is for you to go and see, and another thing is for you to plan and now come back and do what you're supposed to do. So in Anambra West, I'm sure, that I'm aware that the governor has, performed there. Even though you local government, even I am, because no matter the job you do as a leader, as a governor, Oliver will always want some more. Some people will always tell you, you didn't do my own road, come and do this, come and do that, come and build hospital, without actually, factoring in what it takes to not just after building a hospital, but to maintain it and also sustain it, because they should be sustainable.
All right, so, I want to know what the governor did in Ayamelum, because I'm so particular. But then other questions I would want to ask, I would ask someone who may be from that very local government. But for now, since you are making general assessment about Anambra North, what do you think the governor has done in that local government, Ayamelum?
Well, he just made it clear that I'm not from Ayamelum, and I may not be speaking for the people of Ayamelum. But just like I said before, you are aware that I think that should be the School of Agriculture, a university or institute which started from the past regime, is being given a boost by this present government. I'm also aware of most of the jobs carried out by the local government mayors. Of course, the joint team, this is an all-inclusive government. It is from the support of the governor that these works are going on. But Tony, let me leave it at there. Let me speak for my own local government. All right.
Your own local government, you have spoken much about it, the Anambra East. And then now I would also want to ask, would you say the people of Anambra North now, would you say they are happy with the level of development? Because there have been these comparisons that in the former government, in the former days, that they had it this, they had it that presently that this is this, this is that. And we are talking about Anambra North generally. Where you are from?
Sorry, Tony, did I get you?
I'm saying, would you say that the people of Anambra North senatorial districts, would you say they're happy with the present government? that there had been in the past, or even presently, where there had been this comparison that under the so-called governor or under the former governor, that we had it like this, we had it like that, that this present government is doing it this way, is doing it that way. But generally speaking, do you think that the Indian Anambra North, that had it happy?
Well, it may interest you to know that the first conferment of Mr. Governor, Professor Chachuku Mazulu, started from Anambra North. That title, Oluwatuegu, the official conferment of such title, Oluwatuegu, was from Anambra North. And it was done by a coalition of past politicians, government officials, both present and past, party that cuts across, all the parties in Anambra North, not just limited to APGA, which is the party of the present governor. But every other party had their representative. They met, under the leadership of the current Anambra State Speaker, Right Honorable Sonto Udala, of which I was also a committee member. And we decided from the yearnings of Indian Anambra North that this present government has done well to have a solidarity rally, which is still the best rally ever, conducted in the history of Anambra State. The South Senatorial District just had their own rally. The same thing with the Central. But when you look at it, in Anambra North rally was massive, which was an evidence of how happy they are with the transformation and the work that the governor brought to Anambra North, irrespective of the fact that the former governor was from Anambra North, justifying that mantra of one state. And that's why I always use non-selective approach. It's not selective because if you are from Anambra North and your brother, his friend, who was the former governor, the immediate governor that handed over to him, from Anambra North, so I won't do anything.
Okay.
Is unlikely of the past government and this rotational, agenda where, because it is now the turn of Anambra South, let him concentrate and focus on Anambra South. Tomorrow, if he gets to Anambra Center, let an Anambra Central governor also focus and develop it.
Okay.
So that if he comes back to Anambra North, no.
All right. Let's manage time.
The governor of Anambra State.
Let's manage time because of time.
What it should do, yeah.
I remember when you were in the House, you were very vocal. You were one of the known House members at that time, one of the known House members who critique government policies and try to ensure that things are done properly. I remember those times when you raised your voice to ensure that government must be accountable to the people. And one would be saying, are those voices still on? And one would also ask, though you are not in the House presently, because I know that you run for a federal House, but are you still critiquing these present governments?
Well, Tony, the constitutional mandate of a lawmaker is very clear. Residency advocacy, oversight function, and of course, enacting of bills that will, finally turn to law if accepted by the government, making of laws. So these statutory functions are very clear. And as a lawmaker, when you see a gap, or when you feel that things are not going the way it should go, especially when you're speaking for your people, you can come by way of that motion, to raise your voice, call on the government, or to do the needful, especially when it affects your constituency. By so doing, at times, the governor will hear the flag because you are representing your people. That's number one. Number two is law. You're seeing bills, exercise of bills, that will now manifest into law. You identify something that you feel that is important, and the people will benefit from it, and you sponsor it as a bill, a private member bill, or if an executive comes up with a bill that is in line with your trend of thought, you can also, support it. and pass it as a lawmaker. Another one is the oversight, where you are constitutionally, empowered to checkmate the essence of the excesses of the executive. And these are the functions of lawmakers. So for one to be vocal is when you see some of these things lacking. You don't just stand up and start making noise or talking for talking's sake for people to hear that. But when you identify that there is an issue, then you stand up. Or when there is a marginalization of a particular sector, you now begin to criticize. And speaking from outside of the House of Assembly as it is now, I must tell you that the governor of Anambra State, the present governor, through his good work, unprecedented work, transformation within 3 years, maybe, I'm not saying the present House members are not talking, I know some of them who are doing their best, maybe the reason most members may not have anything to say. For example, you just talked about Anambra North, and I'm satisfied with the work of the governor so far. In my community, I'm satisfied with the work of the African government so far. But that doesn't mean that I may not ask for road or another thing tomorrow, because government is a continuum. And you may not expect me to start saying it, knowing fully well that in budget, in government projects, in budget, what the governor or the government, the executive will do and implement is already allocated in that budget. And the performance is based on the revenues and the allocation, that comes from federal government. So, in my assessment, the present House of Assembly, under the leadership of Right Honorable Sunday, who is an experienced lawmaker of 12 years, 3 tenures, they are doing well. They are doing well. You can never have everybody, live up to expectation. But my assessment is at least I give them 80%. When you have an experienced person on the throne, the needful will always be done.
All right.
Let me put it at that.
All right. We have to leave it at that and then see if you can just take 1 or 2 calls. I don't know if you may be ready to answer 1 or 2 calls, and so that we'll leave you. I know you are very busy, and I know how difficult it was for me to get you on the line. I don't know if you can just take 1 or 2 calls. We'll leave it at that and then continue our own business. I'm trying to see if we can also get another house member who will also speak to us. But let's see if you can just take 1 or 2 calls. Just somebody who want to ask you questions based on what you've said and possibly your response to that person. I'm aware you are ready. Let's go back to the phone lines. You have to call 0803 221 6773 or 0803 827 6694. This is Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM. I'm still your honorable speaker, Tony Olisa Mbeki. Let's quickly just take this call. I know many calls are coming.
Hello?
Good morning, you're welcome.
Yeah. My name is Joshua Okechukwu. Speaking from Ebahu.
Joshua, speaking from Ebahu in Ayamelum local government. Please go on.
Our honorable guest in the studio now is, thank God, did not express much about our local government, because in our own local government, we only saw structure of hospitals without equipment. My own community secondary school has been dilapidated. Nothing was done to this our local, for this our governor now. I only suggest maybe he forgot us, and coming to this our issue of our honorable Bernard that was.
No, we are not going to raise this issue because we want to have all the parties involved so that there will be some kind of balance.
Okay.
We don't want to raise this issue at this point because I wanted to raise it. I understand that it's not from that area.
Nothing
That's why.
was done for my own local government.
All right. I'm aware that the governor is coming to your local government today or more. for the New Yam Festival. I don't know if you people will be able to raise such concerns when it comes today.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We got a point. You said that nothing has been done in your local government, in particular. That's where you are from. Good morning. No, Badmus will not allow. We will not allow you to call in before, because you have called in before. We must allow others. So we don't want any sort of monopoly here. We allow those who have not called in before to call in now. Please, let's not monopolize this. We don't want to have the same voice. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
How are you?
I'm very fine. Hope you're good too.
I'm also calling from Onitsha. I don't know.
You're calling from Onitsha. You're welcome. Please go on.
Thank you. Please, I want to make an inquiry. Please.
Inquiry about what we are doing or outside what we are doing?
No, this one. Just a minute.
All right, please go on.
Is Udala FM a subsidiary of Odenibo FM?
All right, I think it's not necessary. I think I asked you, is it on what we are doing or outside what we are doing? I think that question is needless. They are not the same anyway, but then we have to let it out. Please, it has to be what we are doing here. We have issues at hand, so we want you to ask questions based on what we are doing here, not outside what we are doing here. Let's take one more question, and then we come back to Honorable Obinna Emenakaya, who is on the other end, who joined us from Oka this very morning, who has said quite a lot of things I would want you to react to. Okay, good morning. You're welcome. Oh, sorry about the lines. Something seems to be wrong with the line, but then call back again so that we'll have it. Okay. All right. The calls are coming in. Okay, let's take this one. Good morning.
Good evening. Is that Adego?
You've called earlier on before. Allow those who have not called to call in. Please, let's do this thing, in a more civil manner. You don't need to jam the lines. Allow those who have not called before to call in, so that nobody monopolizes this. We had the first case, and you had your own day. Allow others to have their day as well. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you. But before, the lines are buzzing again. Okay, try to call back, try to reconnect, and then remember the lines 0803-221-6973, 0803-827-6694. Okay, those are the lines, and I know many of you are rushing the line. That's why it is jamming. All right, why the lines are still jamming? Let's get back to our guest who is on the other end, and then. Somebody calling from Ibaku who has said that Ibaku Community Secondary School, and at the same time, no project, that there was a hospital but not equipped. I don't know if you have any take on that before. Okay, good morning. The engineer seems to have done something. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Please, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, please.
I want to make an observation.
All right, please go on with the observation.
Oh, please. Just like some time ago, Maroke said, I want to succumb to what he said, that please, I would want you to have a program whereby you alone, will just have you alone. You and us. Yes. Just like you used to do before.
Okay. All right.
Please.
All right.
When you read out the headlines,
all right. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. You want that, Pali. All right. We are something. Do you have any question for our guest before you go on?
No.
All right, thank you so much. All right, you are talking about me having a single program. I think somebody has said that they want me to, be doing this so that you will be learning and all that. So we have Honorable Obinna. I don't know if Honorable Obinna, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm waiting for questions.
All right, let's take on this very one. Ibapo is a community in Ayamelum. Is that community neglected? Somebody said that even the secondary school, nothing, and then even the hospital not equipped.
Tony, there's one fundamental thing I want to establish in governance. Coming from budget, for every financial year, the state government always come up with what they want to do for the state, and based on that, looking at the revenue, they implement or carry out that which they want to do. I'm aware of government policies that even started from the previous government, where through those policies like primary health care, interventions on secondary schools, and what have you, this present government did not only continue from that, but also improved and came up with their own. It may interest you to know that in areas of education, the present government, under the watch of Mr. Governor Professor Charles Ogudo, gave out a scholarship and gave a scholarship to all the students, and also employed, teachers, over 5,000, I think, teachers that will meet the needs of the people at all local governments. You see, because when we talk about job and work, people only see road, light, hospital. Now, as a pharmacist, I can also tell you that when you think of starting a hospital, the hospital some community people expect, you also have to think of the manpower who will work there, and also have to think of how the sustainability. And you have the population that will warrant, a hospital to be built for personnel to now come and attend to those people when you have a primary health care that can address it. And that is why you have primary health care, you have primary, secondary and tertiary institutions in areas where, this clinic cannot attend to this, then they move over to, the secondary or tertiary institution. You don't expect the government to build hospitals in all the communities, in every community. For example, in my own community, we used to have a general hospital. We have a hospital we're also working on. But in Umweri, we have Umweri General Hospital. Aguleri, they will have general hospital. So do you want every community to begin to have hospitals? Where are the personnel, the doctors and the pharmacists and nurses that work there? Then do they have the population that will generate revenues to take care of those people? Remember, our democracy and government is still evolving. These are facts that you have to consider. And that is why you see some governors or previous government building mega hospitals in all the senatorial district zone, so that at every point in time, wherever you are, you can access, medical care at a very good hospital, but not bringing it to your place. But of course, the primary health cares are there.
All right, I want to ask: is there any general hospital close to Ibaku?
Close to Ibaku?
Yes.
You have Umweri General Hospital. That's what I said.
Are they close?
That's of my knowledge. Tony, I may not have that information now.
Okay.
But I know that, just like I said, Ibaku as a community they should have a primary health care.
Oh, they have primary health care?
Yes.
Okay.
That can attend to any health emergency, that if it is not beyond what the primary health care can do, then you come over to the general hospital.
Okay.
But let me just make this point that every community must not have a general hospital. There are things that are possible. There are things that, for now, until we get to that level.
Okay. All right. We got that. All right. Let's see if you can.
Can't give everybody general hospital.
Okay. You can't give everybody general hospital.
Everybody cannot have, for now.
Okay.
There are priorities.
But then every community, according to you, every community has primary health center. Okay.
Yes, health center.
All right. They have primary health center, but then
which anybody can use on the interim. Then in now more advanced cases or emergencies, you can now move on to the tertiary institution.
Okay. All right, let's see if you can take one more question, because the calls have been coming anyway, but then it seems that the lines have been fixed. Okay, let's say if we take one more or two calls and we come back to you, Honorable Obin Nemenaka. We have calls. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Hello.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Hello.
Please go on, we can hear you. Your name and where you're calling from. Oh, it seems that something went by. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, welcome. It's good to have you.
Hey, my name is Crossfire from Onitsha.
We are calling from Onitsha. Please ask a question. Go on quickly, no time.
Okay, so I want to ask the executive governor of Anambra State for what he has done so far in Anambra West. For over, in fact, in the creation of Anambra West, we've not had any accessible roads to Nzam, which is the headquarters. But today, it's a thing of reality, and we are appreciating for that. We expected that when Olisa was there, that would have done it. This is also from Anambra North, and Anambra West is in Anambra West North, but it was not to be. So we appreciate Olisa for that.
All right.
And we're also appealing for electricity.
Electricity.
One of the basic necessities especially the headquarters, which is in Nzam.
Okay.
They've not had electricity for starting the creation of Anambra. In the creation of the world, there are no power supply.
Okay.
We also are praying for him to look into it.
All right.
To say that everything has come around. We really appreciate him for that, because of course, Anambra West as a whole is the food basket of Anambra State, and we now have accessible roads in our products to Onitsha before we usually go to
All right, we got that. Because of time, we have to let you go. We have to let you go because we have to manage our time. You're saying that you are appreciating the governor on what he did in Anambra West, especially the road he tied to Nzam, that there had never been such road before, and then the local government had no paved road, but he did it. And you're also appealing to him to bring in electricity to the local government. I don't know if the local government in itself has electricity or not, but you say that you're appealing to Governor Daneto Dikin and comment that he has to bring electricity to that very end. I don't know, Honorable Bin Menakaya, I don't know if you heard such appeal.
Yeah.
So the
appeal on what? I didn't hear an appeal.
He was appealing that the electricity be brought to Nzam, the headquarters of Anambra West, as the roads have been, the roads, according to him, the governor built it, that they appreciate that for what he has done, that they have never had a sex road or third road, especially in that local government.
Good. It is one step, at a time. Of course, having given them road, then through that road, the electricity will now come in. But if you don't have road, how do you transport the poles and what have you? So, I think all these things are out of the plan.
I was thinking because I never knew that there is a place in Anambra State that has no electricity before now. I was thinking before now that every place has electricity. I'm really concerned because we know.
Access to electricity, because you may not have light until you now have need to draw the wires or whatever, line access to your compound or your place or the local government.
Okay.
Then you now have light. So
okay, you are saying that it has to do with personal.
If you may remember, the present government also signed, I think, an MOU with the EEDC board sometime as part of their effort towards making sure and also to ensure that there is electricity everywhere. So one good thing about this government is that this present government came with a plan. The government is very prepared, and not just prepared, organized. And if you have a plan, your duty, your responsibility is to, at the appropriate time, with reference to the resources available, implement that plan. Implement that plan. But once you don't have a plan, then you've already planned to fail. Just like I said, if the governor will visit Olum Banasa, one of those Olu areas, I think it was for him to go and see a very good place and know what he will do. I remembered he identified the project or what they will be needing, and of course I'm sure that he will provide it.
All right, on that very note, we want to thank you, Honorable Obinna Emenaka, for your time. And then we are going to also continue the conversation because you are going to come live. And we are going to welcome you where you are going to explore major political developments from different angles, from different perspectives. So we are going to do that, hoping that we'll have your life here with us.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's quickly take a moment. When we come back, we continue with the conversation. Please do not go anywhere.
Okay, bye-bye, Tony.
Thank you so much.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread, for your family breakfast. Wendy's bread, Opa chicken they do yellow. Wendy's bread, Mama Papa they like Wendy's bread, that chicken they do. Wendy's bread, even children they like Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, you get the better tasty we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread, Wendy's your bachama. Wendy's bread, the champion.
Wendy's bread, your tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, Second Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza at Tani Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread.
When the stakes are high, the debates get hotter. When the issues demand clarity, we bring the fire. Welcome to Crossfire. Crossfire, where politics meets perspective, where issues are dissected, and where no topic is off limits. From the corridors of power to the pulse of the streets, we break down the politics, the controversies, and the decisions that shape our nation. Join Dr. Tony Olisa Mbeki as he puts guests on the hot seat, drilling them with the tough questions, demanding the hard truths, and leaving no room for half measures. Get ready for fearless conversations and uncompromising analysis. Crossfire, exclusive on Udala 104.7 FM Onitsha, every Saturday from 9 a.m.
welcome back. It's still Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM this very beautiful Saturday morning, and we are back here on air, and we are just having conversations with, I had wanted to bring in the spokesperson of Anambra State House of Assembly, but then it seems that when he wanted to come in, but we had other things we're actually doing. I think we want to have people who will speak from different sides on that very thing you want us to talk about. And that's what we've been trying to do. But if we couldn't do it today, probably we're going to do it another day. Let's quickly see if we can go back to the phone lines and then entertain calls from people on anything. And then definitely we have got political developments, in the country, and we want to know how far it has gone. Alright, let's see if we can just go back to the phone lines. Alright, good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Ezia Fakego streaming live from Osumoro.
Ezia Fakego, you've been trying to monopolize this.
I want to make this appeal to my dear brother Tony. Osumoro is not anything to write home about. Insecurity is ravaging us. I would want any government official that has come to talk to us to tell us what the government has in stock for Osumoro people. Ebonese in general. This is our local government and Anambra State as a whole. Security force. No matter whatever any government may be doing, it is he that is alive
Right.
will enjoy such amenities.
Alright, thank you so much.
Osumoro is ravaged.
Alright, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Remember, you've called earlier before, so I don't want anybody to monopolize the space. We want to give everybody equal time, equal space, equal number, so that it won't be that we keep hearing one voice all the time. Let's quickly go back to the phone lines. Remember, for those of you who have not called earlier before now, and possibly would want to call in, you better call in now and then make a statement. We've got so many things going on in Nigeria, and not just in Nigeria. And I know many of you have been reacting to the statement credited to Dati Baba Ahmed, but that has been taken care of by our first guest, who has told us that it's just one man speaking his own opinion, and that his opinion remains his own opinion. And whether you ask whether he's working for Mr. P2B or not, it is still his opinion, and he's still within his right to express opinion as enshrined in our constitution. So there's nothing bad about that, but he has right to join any political association, as the case may be. Alright, let's quickly, because there are other developments around the country. If I must let you know, if even the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi, on Friday responded to speculations about the administration of justice of the present government, trying to either make justice to be more you look, the less you see, based on the friends of this administration, saying that he's not under any political pressure from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to drop charges against friends of the administration. So it tells you a whole lot about the government, according to Fagbemi. And then we have quite a lot in the polity, and many people have been assessing the last elections. In your own view, what is your own assessment? We have asked our guest assessment. What is your own assessment? Let's see if we can just entertain how many calls, just 2 or 3 calls, because we have people who will be taken on by 11. We'll just give them 15 minutes and then we're going to take on them. But what's the own assessment like? As far as the last election, we're talking about by-elections, what is it like? So once we are able to get that from you, it's not about talking from pillar to post. your objective assessment? That's the question I asked this very morning as we wrap up. So what is your own assessment? Good morning. Hello, you are welcome. It's good to have you. Oh, so sorry about that. When we ask you assessment, we just want your assessment, and then we have had different assessments from different political figures representing different political parties. Now the question is your own assessment. We are talking about democracy and how to ensure that we really uphold these democratic practices as well known, the known practices is the international standard. And just like ADC spokesperson was saying that situations whereby we're going to bring in reforms, and these reforms will bring about a number of change with technology, where this human factor would just be something of the past. So we want to just know, what do you think about that?
Hello.
Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you. You're welcome.
The voice of Maruki Chuka from Onitsha.
Maruki Chuka, please go on a quick one.
Talking on the assessment of the last election. My sister, with what some politicians, most specifically APC, we are saying, talking about that with the last election, that it has proven that Labour Party and the ADC are nowhere to be found. I want to tell them that they are just talking on their own, just trying to, I don't know, is it a kind of gimmicks to rig the election in any upcoming election we are going to face. What am I trying to say? Upcoming election, I mean 2027, not even Anambra governmental election, because we know the direction that one is going to. But talking about general election in Nigeria, anybody who is looking at this election, taking it to be something, you are deceiving yourself. Because whether they like it or not, what happened in 2023 election will still repeat itself. 2027. You understand? Nigeria will still vote in mass. In that particular direction they want to go. You understand? I am telling them that I am very, very sure. So the last election they want to bring up, use it to cover up. They should just throw it away and dust it. Because it's not going to count. Even me myself, even if I come out to vote, I will vote anything that I want. But 2023, I know how, I know, 2027, I know how I'm going to do and where he's going to. That is my submission. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Maruki Chuka, for your submission. I think that will do it for us on Crossfire this very morning. We want to appreciate everyone for being part of this very program. And we also want to take our guests. We had two guests, the first and the second. And we also asked you a question about your own assessment, and then you responded to us. Thank you so much, everyone. But then before we go, we are going to just have a 15 minutes time with the Elites Traders Forum. They will be talking to us and want to know why they are here, why they have decided to talk to us this very morning. We're going to do that in a jiffy.